Shalom, children of the Most High, Yahweh our Elohim, and welcome to our Wednesday Bible study, halfway through the week, gang, and welcome to everyone. Bring your kids, bring your spouse, bring your friends, bring your Bible study, bring everybody and share the Bible, share Yah's Word with everyone. It's for all of us. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Absolutely. All right, gang. Go ahead and get comfortable. Grab your Bible, and we'll get started tonight. Tonight, we'll be studying Bemidbar, which is Numbers, and we'll be starting on chapter 13. We're going to do 13, 14, and 15, okay? Alrighty then. I hope everybody's having a good week, and everything's going good for you all. And yeah, okay. Get settled in, gang. We got some stuff to cover tonight, okay? Alrighty then, let's get going here. Chapter 13 of Bemidbar, which is Numbers. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Israel. Send one man from each tribe of their fathers, every one a leader among them. And by the mouth of Yahweh Moshe sent them from the wilderness of Paran, all of them men who were heads of the children of Israel. And these were their names. All right, you guys, get ready. Here come some names. I know, I'm terrible at pronouncing these names. I'm trying. Hopefully, I'm getting better. All right, here we go. Verse 4. And these were their names. From the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Zakur. From the tribe of Shimon, which is Simon, Shaphat, son of Harai. From the tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Yephanneh. Yephanneh. Okay, verse 7. From the tribe of Issachar, Yigal, son of Joseph. From the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun. Okay, just to keep everything straight and clear, Hoshea is Joshua. Okay? And if you pronounce it correctly, it's Yehoshua, which is the same as our Messiah. And that name means salvation. We're going to get there though, okay? So hold on a second. Verse 9, from the tribe of Benjamin, Paltai, son of Raphu. From the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Sadai. From the tribe of Joseph, from the tribe of Manasseh, Gedai, son of Susai. From the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gemalai. From the tribe of Asher, Shesur, son of Mechiel. From the tribe of Naphtali, Nahabi, son of Wupshai. From the tribe of Gad, Guel, son of Makai. These are the names of the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land. And Moshe called Hoshea, the son of Nun, Yehoshua. Okay, so Moshe gave him the name Yehoshua, which, when you translate it, it means salvation, because words have meaning. Okay? Verse 17, we'll just call him Yahshua, okay, so that there's no confusion between the Messiah, Yehoshua, and Yahshua, son of Nun. Okay, so we'll just call him Yahshua. Got it? From here on out. And Moshe sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said to them, Go up here into the south, and go up to the mountains, and see what the land is like, and the people who dwell in it, whether strong or weak, whether few or many. and whether the land they dwell in is good or evil, whether the cities they inhabit are in camps or strongholds, and whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are forests there or not. And you shall be strong, and bring some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the season of the first fruits of grapes. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Sin as far as Rehob, near the entrance of Hamath. And they went up through the south, and came to Hebron, and Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak, were there. Now Hebron had been built 7 years before Soan in Mitzrayim. Okay, Anak, the sons of Anak. We went into some deep study about all of that back in Genesis chapter 6 verse 4. And when we went in through Enoch, we studied all about the Anak, about the Nephilim, the giants, and the fallen angels, and how the fallen angels corrupted all flesh, including the animals. Okay, so everybody's familiar with the Anak. Alright, and we're going to find out more about them. And they came to the Wadi Eshcol, and cut down from there a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bore it between two of them on a pole, also of the pomegranates and of the figs. So this one branch of grapes that they cut down was so big that they couldn't just carry, like, oh look, I've got a batch of grapes. They had to put it on a pole and carry it between the two of them. Oh, quite a batch of grapes and pomegranates and figs. Wow. That place was called the Wadi of Eshcol, because of the cluster which the men of Israel cut down from there. And they returned from spying out the land after 40 days. There's that number again, 40 days. It's reoccurring. 40 days and 40 nights that Noah was in the ark, and 40 days and 40 nights that Yehoshua was in the desert. And yeah, it's just reoccurring. Moshe was on the mountain twice for 40 days. Yeah, Yahweh likes those reoccurring numbers. 26, and they went and came to Moshe and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. And they brought back word to them and to all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they reported to him, and said, We went to the land where you sent us, and truly it flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. But the people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are walled, very great. And we saw the descendants of Anak there too. Giants. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, while the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Jordan River. And Caleb silenced the people before Moshe and said, Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are certainly able to overcome it. So Caleb, he wasn't afraid. He was like, let's go. Grab your swords and let's go get it, you guys. Yah promised us this land. Let's go take it. He didn't care about no giants. Verse 31, But the men who had gone up with him said, We are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they gave the children of Israel an evil report of the land, which they had spied out, saying, The land through which we have gone as spies is a land eating up its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great size. And we saw there the Nephilim, sons of Anak, of the Nephilim, and we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in their eyes. So Caleb was ready to rock. It was the rest of those guys that were like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm scared, and they scared all the people. All right, chapter 14. Then all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept all that night. And all the children of Israel grumbled against Moshe and against Aaron, and all the congregation said to them, If only we had died in the land of Mitzrayim, or if only we had died in this wilderness. And why is Yahweh bringing us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should become prey? Would it not be better for us to turn back to Mitzrayim? Too much. And they said to each other, Let us appoint a leader, and let us turn back to Mitzrayim. So they're ready to dump Aaron and Moshe and choose somebody and go back to Mitzrayim. Verse 5, Then Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their garments. And they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, The land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If Yahweh has delighted in us, then he shall bring us into this land, and give it to us, a land which is flowing with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against Yahweh, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their defense has turned away from them, and Yahweh is with us. Do not fear them. So Joshua and Caleb are like, Hoorah, let's go get them. If we've got Yah on our side, nobody can defeat us. But all the rest of the congregation are like, oh, we don't want to go, we're scared. Ugh. Verse 10, But all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Then the esteem of Yahweh appeared in the tent of appointment before all the children of Israel. So Yahweh came down in a cloud as they were getting ready to stone Caleb and Joshua. Uh-oh, Dad's here. And Yahweh said to Moshe, How long shall I be scorned by these people? And how long shall I not be trusted by them? Because they have no faith. They have the Most High, and they have no faith. With all the signs which I have done in their midst, let me strike them with the pestilence, and disinherit them, and make of you a nation greater and mightier than they. So here's the second time that Yahweh has had it with them, and he's getting ready to toast them and make up an entire new people from the descendants of just Moshe. Second time, wow. Well, actually kind of the third time if you include the encounter with Aaron and Miriam. Verse 13, And Moshe said to Yahweh, Then the Mitzrayites shall hear it, for by your power you brought these people up from their midst. And they shall say to the inhabitants of this land, They have heard that you, Yahweh, are in the midst of these people, that you, Yahweh, are seeing eye to eye, and that your cloud stands above them, and you go before them in a column of a cloud by day, and in a column of fire by night. Now if you shall kill these people as one man, then the nations which have heard of your report shall speak, saying, Because Yahweh was not able to bring this people to the land which he swore to give them, therefore he slew them in the wilderness. And now, I pray, let the power of Yahweh be great, as you have spoken, saying, Yahweh is patient and of great loving commitment, forgiving crookedness and transgression, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of their fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation. Please forgive the crookedness of this people, according to the greatness of your loving commitment, and you, as you have forgiven this people from Mitzrayim, even until now. And Yahweh said, I shall forgive, according to your word. But truly, as I live, and all the earth is filled with the esteem of Yahweh, for none of these men who have seen my esteem, and the signs which I did in Mitzrayim and in the wilderness, and have tried me now these 10 times, and have disobeyed my voice, shall see the land of which I swore to their fathers, nor any of those who scorned me see it. But, there's that word, my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him, and has followed me completely, I shall bring into the land where he went, and his seed shall inherit it. Since the Amalekites and the Canaanites are dwelling in the valley, turn back tomorrow, and set out into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds. Okay, so he's sending them back the other way. But he tells Moshe that he's going to smoke them all. They're toast because he's done messing around with them. But Caleb will be there. You're going to make sure that Caleb's there. And, we keep seeing Yahweh do all of these signs, these fantastic things in their sight, everywhere. And he's said it several times that he's shown them all these signs and these wonders and all this stuff. Well, if you turn to Matthew 16:4, you'll see quite a bit there. Let's flip over there real quick. Matthew 16:4. Okay? I know, flippy flip, flippy flip, flippy flip. But this shows quite a bit, okay? Matthew, get back to Mark and Luke. Matthew, okay, 16:4. Are you there? Hopefully you beat me there. Okay, 16:4. This is Yehoshua. A wicked and adulterous generation seeks after a sign, and no sign shall be given to it except the sign of the prophet Johanna. And he left them and went away. Okay? They're asking Yehoshua for a sign. He's just beside himself too, because they always are requiring signs. How many signs did Yehoshua show before the apostles? Time and time and time and time again. And still, they questioned. Alright, I just thought maybe you guys would like to check that reference. Alright, let's get back over here to Numbers. 26. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, How long shall this evil congregation have this grumbling against me? I have heard the grumblings which the children of Israel are grumbling against me. Say to them, As I live, declares Yahweh, as you have spoken in my hearing, so I do to you. The carcasses of you who have grumbled against me are going to fall in this wilderness, all of you who were registered according to your entire number from 20 years old and above. None of you except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun, shall enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell in. But your little ones, whom you said would become a prey, I shall bring in, and they shall know the land which you have rejected. But as for you, your carcasses are going to fall in this wilderness, and your sons shall be wanderers in the wilderness 40 years. There's that number again. And shall bear your whorings until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness. He's going to smoke everybody for the next 40 years. Verse 34, according to the number of the days in which you spied out the land, 40 days. A day for a year, a day for a year. You are to bear your crookedness 40 years, and you shall know my breaking off. I am Yahweh. I have spoken. I shall do this to all this evil congregation who are meeting against me. In this wilderness they are consumed, and there they die. And the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land, who returned and made all the congregation grumble against him by bringing an evil report of the land. Even those men who brought the evil report about the land died by the plague before Yahweh, so he smoked all of those guys right off. 38 of those men who went to spy out the land, only Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, remained alive. He smoked all the rest of them right off the bat. He was not happy. Verse 39, and when Moshe spoke these words to all the children of Israel, the people mourned greatly. We really blew it this time. Verse 40, and they rose up early in the morning and went up to the top of the mountain, saying, See, we have indeed sinned, but we shall go up to the place which Yahweh had spoken of. But Moshe said, Why do you now transgress the mouth of Yahweh, since it does not prosper? Do not go up, lest you be smitten by your enemies, for Yahweh is not in your midst. Because the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you have turned away from Yahweh. Yahweh is not with you. But they presumed to go up to the mountaintop, but neither the ark of the covenant of Yahweh nor Moshe left the camp. So the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in that mountain came down and struck them and beat them down, even to Hormah. Chapter 15. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When you have come into the land of your dwelling, which I am giving you, and you make an offering by fire to Yahweh, an ascending offering, or a slaughtering, to accomplish a vow, or as a voluntary offering, or in your appointed times, to make a sweet fragrance to Yahweh from the herd or the flock. Then he who brings near his offering to Yahweh shall bring near a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil. Remember the fine flour? Lots of effort to make it fine? Yeah, there's some effort there. Verse 5, and 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering you prepare with the ascending offering or the slaughtering for each lamb. Or for a ram you prepare as a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil. And as a drink offering you bring 1/3 of a hin of wine as a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And when you prepare a young bull as an ascending offering, or as a slaughtering to accomplish a vow, or as a peace offering to Yahweh, then shall be brought with the young bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with a half a hin of oil. And bring as the drink offering half a hin of wine as an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. This is what is done for each young bull, for each ram, or for each lamb or young goat, according to the number that you prepare, so you do for each one according to their number. Let all who are native do so with them, in bringing near an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And when the stranger sojourns with you, or whoever is among you throughout your generations, and would make an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh, as you do, so he does. So guess what? This applies to all of us also, to the Gentiles, those who sojourn amongst the children of Israel. Verse 15, one law is for you of the assembly and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a law forever throughout your generations. As you are, so is the stranger before Yahweh. One Torah and one right ruling is for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. Okay? Now, I understand we don't have a temple, and Yehoshua is our high priest. The temple is now our bodies, okay? So a lot of people are going to say, well, why do we need to know all this stuff? Well, think about it. During the millennial reign of Yehoshua here on earth, after Armageddon, we're going to need to know about all this stuff. All of us who are there with Yehoshua, we're going to need to know all of this stuff, because of the fact that Yehoshua is the high priest, and he's going to be wanting to conduct these ceremonies to Yahweh, okay? And we're going to need to be familiar with this stuff. Okay, so right now it doesn't apply to us, because there is no temple. The temple is our body. Yehoshua is still our high priest no matter what. Okay, the perfect sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice. He is our high priest. So when the millennial kingdom for the 1,000-year reign happens, there's going to be a temple. And we're going to be sacrificing for sin offerings and for peace offerings and these different things that we read about throughout Leviticus and now in Numbers. We're going to need to be familiar with this stuff, or else we're going to be just bumbling and stumbling all over ourselves. So that's why we need to know about this, at least be familiar with it, okay? Just something that I observe, something that I'm thinking about. That's why I think it's important to think about all of this stuff, and to realize that we are the sojourners amongst the children of Israel. We're grafted into the tree through the blood of Yehoshua, who paved a road for us to seek our salvation. Gentiles, you and I. Okay? So, just my thoughts. Okay? Let's move along. Verse 17, and Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when you come into the land to which I bring you, then it shall be, when you eat of the bread of the land, that you present a contribution to Yahweh. Present a cake of the first of your dough as a contribution. As a contribution of the threshing floor, you present it. Of the first of your dough, you are to give to Yahweh a contribution throughout your generations. Not for one generation, not for 2 generations, for all generations. Verse 22, and when you sin by mistake, and do not do all these commands which Yahweh has spoken to Moshe, all that Yahweh has commanded you by the hand of Moshe, from the day Yahweh gave command and onward throughout your generations. Then it shall be, if it is done by mistake, without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall prepare one young bull as an ascending offering, as a sweet fragrance to Yahweh, with its grain offering and its drink offering, according to the right ruling, and one male goat as a sin offering. Then the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it was by mistake. And they shall bring their offering, an offering made by fire to Yahweh, and their sin offering before Yahweh for their mistake. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger who sojourns in their midst, because all the people did it by mistake. So if they screwed up by mistake, once they figured it out, then they got to get atonement for that sin. What sin? Not following the law. Verse 27, and if a being sins by mistake, then he shall bring a female goat a year old as a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for the being who strays by mistake when he sins by mistake before Yahweh, to make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. For him who does whatever by mistake, there is one Torah, both for him who is native among the children of Israel, and for the stranger who sojourns in their midst. But, there's that word, the being who does whatever defiantly, whether he is native or a stranger, he reviles Yahweh, and that being shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of Yahweh, and has broken his command. That being shall certainly be cut off. His crookedness is upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moshe and to Aaron and to all the congregation, and they put him under guard, because it had not been declared what should be done to him. And Yahweh said to Moshe, the man shall certainly be put to death, all the congregation stoning him with stones outside the camp. And all the congregation brought him outside the camp, and stoned him with stones, as Yahweh commanded Moshe, and he died. Okay, let's think about this. I know it seems a bit extreme, but let's think about this for a minute. This is right after Yahweh explains about how to handle situations where, shoot, we did something wrong. How do we make atonement for it? And doing it on purpose. This man obviously was doing it on purpose on the Sabbath. And according to what I've heard, I can't prove it anywhere, but according to what I heard, picking up sticks was his job. Okay, he was to gather sticks for the camp. It was his job. So he was working on the Sabbath. And Yahweh made a point. He made an example of this guy. And they took him outside the camp and they stoned him till he was dead, so that everybody in the camp would know that if you're doing work on the Sabbath, you're toast. Made a point. Dad has to make examples sometimes to get everybody's attention. All of us dumb kids, unless if there's something extreme from once in a while, Dad has to make a point, or else nobody's going to pay attention to him. They're going to go, yeah, okay, Dad said this and Dad said that, but he doesn't mean it. Our Dad means it. Yahweh means it. Okay? Alright, verse 37. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them to make tzitzits. Okay, Remember what a zitzit was. We talked about this before when we went through Leviticus, okay? That's a zitzit, okay? All right, let's read on and we'll figure out again what a zitzit is, okay? Let's start in 18 again. Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, make a tzitzit on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzit of the corners. And it shall be to you for a tzitzit, and you shall see it, and shall remember all the commands of Yahweh, and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring, so that you remember, and shall do all my commands, and be set apart unto your Elohim. I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim to be your Elohim. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. Okay? Zitzits. Wear them on the four corners. We don't really wear skirts like they did back then, but you put them on your belt loops. And you can get these a number of places. The hat that I have that says Sanctified Supply Company right here, set apart. Yeah, you can call them and get zitzits from them. Sanctified Supply Company. They're good people and they got all kinds of cool stuff. So if you're looking for a set of zitzits, you can look there. Yeah, you can also look on Amazon. Whatever, it's your choice, okay? But just so that you know, or you can make your own. There's videos on YouTube that show you how to make these if you're interested in making your own. According to tradition, now this is the tradition of men, it's not a command of Yahweh per se, but according to tradition, somebody that loves you and that you love will make your zitzits for you. Okay? It's just how it is. And now we have an example of our zitzits. So, Mark chapter 6. It's towards the end of the chapter. Mark, if my fingers will cooperate. Mark 6. And it's towards the end of the chapter here. Give me just a second. I don't have it exact. Okay, here we go. It's verse 56. And wherever he went, this is Yehoshua, into villages or cities or the country, they were laying the sick in the marketplaces, and begged him to let them touch, if only the zitzit of his garment. And as many had touched him were healed. Okay? So Yehoshua had zitzits. Also, if you remember, the woman who had the blood issue, and he was being thronged by the crowds as he was walking through the crowds, she snuck up behind him and touched the hem of his skirt, his zitzit, and he realized that she had touched him. So, yes, Yehoshua wore them too. We wear the zitzits because it's a reminder. It's a reminder when we're out in public. Okay, example. Say you're at the grocery store, okay? You're standing there waiting in line to get out of the grocery store. And these people that go in these grocery stores, they dress horrible. I absolutely am. I would be embarrassed. There's no way that my wife would ever dress like that to go in public. But we don't want to be sinning with our eyes. Lust of the eyes. We don't want to do that. So, if you've got your zitzits, then you can remember by holding onto your zitzits and not looking. Turn your head away. Remember, Yahweh is with you. Also, the reason that all of my ball caps have Yod He Vav He on. Start on this side. Yod He Vav He. That's Yahweh's name. Okay? And according to Leviticus, we are supposed to have His name between our frontlets to remind us of the Father at all times so that we follow His laws. That's why all of my hats have these patches that I make. This one just happens to say Yah on it. But they all say Yod He Vav He in whatever script that I put on there, if it's Paleo or Modern Hebrew. Either way. But that's where this all comes from. They're reminders. The reminders that Yahweh is with us always. Always. And it keeps us, reminds us not to sin. Not by mistake and not by purpose. Okay? So they're reminders. Not only that, but you know what? If you see somebody else in public that has zitzits on their belt loops, friend or foe? Possibly a friend. Possibly somebody worth talking to. Because there's so few worth talking to in public. Try to evangelize in public. People get really angry and they don't want to talk. And they totally tried to disclaim you and tell you you don't know what you're talking about and all kinds of stuff. But if you see somebody with zitzits on, then it's somebody that you might be able to actually have a conversation with. Might be able to say, oh wow, I can call this person my brother or my sister, because women wear zitzits also. Okay? So, just a little something for you tonight. Well, gang, thank you for joining me tonight, and I pray that y'all got something good out of the study. I pray that you get something out of every study that's going to benefit you and your family and draw you closer to the Most High, Yahweh, our Father, our Abba Father, our beautiful Abba Father who loves us all very, very much and only wants the best for us. As long as we're not snotty little brats. Yeah. Alright, gang. Once again, thanks for joining me. And I guess we'll see you on Thursday for our extra canonical study that we're doing in Yasher. So, y'all have a great evening. Yah bless each and every one of you. And praise Yahweh. Praise our Elohim. Thank Him all the time, continuously. He does wonderful things in our life every day. Alright, gang. We'll see you soon. Y'all have a great night. Shalom.